the concept of archive fever really came from our question of the whose cinema subject, and more to be more precise, the idea of to whom does cinema belong, and why are most films sort of locked away behind paywalls and archives, and why is film history just accessible for the people who have access to archives or to the internet and pirated DVDs and stuff like that, which somehow feels like you have the privileged idea of when you have access to an archive, you have access to film history, or on the other hand, you have to become some kind of a pirate, which I also think is a name of honor in this case, to disclose film history. And where does that urge come from us as cinephiles or film scholars or just film lovers, critics, professionals, to want to see more than is available, and maybe even to want to see more than we can see in a lifetime, which is this idea of an archive as having the urge to cover the world, and at the same time crying the impossibility of that urge, because we can't see all film history, even though it was all available. And we used this little clip from the Alain Resnais film, Tous les mémoires du monde, all the histories of the world, because it's about a library, and the library is the biggest symbol of that idea of archive, where you collect and classify and store, and at the same time there's no way in your whole life that you can read all those books, but at the same time it's really reassuring that those books are there just in case you want to read them. So that's the biggest contradiction. And then this idea of the Deleuzian images of time, to sort of say it in a very condensed way, is of course the way you can use films from several times and several filmmakers from all over the world and bring them together. And these films in themselves also address the past and the present and the possible future of art, but by bringing them together in the video essay, turning the video essay itself into a time image, is that here in 10 minutes you're able to travel through time. This is your time capsule, this is your time machine. And by working in the medium, and Catherine Grant, a film scholar who is very much working in video essays, has called it this material thinking. I don't think material thinking is the right term, because it's more kind of a medial or mediated thinking, because there's no real matter at hand when you're doing a montage in a digital format, but you're still thinking through the medium, and maybe in a way you're mediating or remediating it. That made me realize that in working in the medium of the filmmaker is an extra tool for a critic, but it's also an extra tool to layer. And it's to come back to Godard, whose name we've been mentioning because Godard is so unavoidable. We've been mentioning his name, but he also said, like, show me the evidence. And we were working with the evidence, and in a way I think we found some kind of an answer. I think this is it for now.